Wait, does Mike have the jorts on in that pic?
Yeah, dude. Mike
Yeah, he
has
does.
the jorts on in there.
Yeah, he does.
Dude.
You mainline man. What a character.
Wait, when did you get the sound filter thing?
The pop filter? When I
Yeah,
got
the
the
pop
shot
filter.
fountain stand over here.
Nice.
A couple months ago. I guess either was it before? Might have been after
I've
China.
definitely watched your stream in the past
Yeah,
couple
so
months.
it usually yeah, I usually
Unless
don't
it's
have it.
pulled forward more. Is it pulled
Yeah.
forward?
No,
Yeah.
it's usually pushed back more because I usually look at this monitor where the webcam is. That's where I game. But because you're on my stream PC, for me to
Yeah.
capture this, I'm looking at you. So, all right, man. What are we up to in viewership right now? About 50 people. People showing you the love. So let's go all the way back, man. Let's go back 1 year. We'll go back. We'll go back a little bit further. We'll go back to like January, because that's when you were on Josh Art's team.
December is when we started talking, though.
Right. Do you know me, man? I build Plan B, right? And you were fucking Plan B. And if I remember right, what was Josh's team? It wasn't Prospects then, was it? It was something else.
No, we were Astral Authority.
Astral Authority, that's right. And Josh just got pulled out of rank S. I don't know if you followed any of that drama today.
Yeah.
Feels bad, man.
It doesn't. Yeah, I guess there was some sort of player vote.
I don't know. I guess he placed
landed
like fifth or something, so he actually got paid money and then got
he
cucked.
played last month for sure. I saw it.
Yeah, that's a rough life, man. So started talking because I think at that point I knew that Kusta was looking at other options. He wasn't really comfortable with the org we were with. Our contracts were expiring. They didn't look like they were going to renew them. He needed money because his parents wanted him to go to school. So all the tea leaves pointed at Kusta probably not staying. And you had started very recently opping on Astral Authority. You were not the primary op before, right?
Yeah. So we played like one season with Astral Authority, and like I was the rifler, but that was like my very first season in Premiere too. So as soon as that season ended, and the off season started, we had just gotten rid of our opper. So I talked to Josh. I was like, I mean, I could just do it, and like practice it in the off season. So that's pretty much how I started that, though.
And I just told you like, hey, I'm not promising you anything. You're kind of on our short list right now because I remember almost word for word because I sent it to you, I sent it to Whitmer and a couple of the other options, just saying, we're looking at ops and
Opportunities.
Not sure I can promise you anything. I can't even promise you a tryout, but just wanted you to know that you're kind of on our list right now. And go from there. And sure enough, Kusta had his thing happen. He went to Team Liquid, and we brought you on board. We played with Kusta at the major qualifier, which was, I think, that February, and then shortly thereafter, there was a young Nifters picking up the big green for our squad.
Mm-hmm.
What was that process like for you? Because I know that, and we'll talk a little bit about how you used to play a terrible console game at some point, I'm sure. But you switched over, you were putting in the work, and you were like finally to the point where that hard work was gonna be recognized and rewarded, and you were gonna be able to, to make it, so to speak, to the pro level. What was that like?
Yeah. Like it was super exciting for me because I didn't expect it to come so soon. Only because after my first season in Premiere, like I personally felt like I did really terrible. In fact, there was probably other players that thought I did really terrible. So I didn't really think an offer like that was going to come soon. However, I unexpectedly kind of just started like following your team, even before you messaged me, right? Like enemies, like some dust was being kicked up about you guys, right? Like some upcoming players like Kusta. You guys are kicking ass in the Premier division. So I was already interested and I was already with it. So as soon as you hit me up about, maybe you could be you could be an opera on our squad, I was like, okay, I'm gonna roll with this, obviously, right? Like I'd be stupid not to. So I started practicing the op, and Did my best, but where I fell apart was I didn't practice anything else. It was just the op. So actually, when I first started opping for your team, um, I was very, very confident, but I wasn't very confident in doing anything else, like any of the rules. I was barely confident even holding a rifle. So because I just put so much time into the op, and even after putting in so much time and then starting my first few pro league matches, um, I still wasn't nearly as good as I knew I could be. So
And so you came on board, and I don't remember how long. And I'm scrolling through my phone because I wanted to find our DMs from a long time ago because there was a couple that I don't think you would even remember.
I
Where
from
we had actually talked a couple times way before even this.
yeah, it was like when I was starting
When
CS.
you just right when you were starting Counter Strike. That's right. Let's
Yeah,
see.
because I had a following originally from COD. Dude, dude, you slipped out. You slipped out a crazy one, bro. Because I looked at that a couple times, like just over time in general. Like, holy shit, that's right.
That's
I
a long.
forgot that I
It's
had
been a
them.
long way, man. And I guess those DMs are gone. Rip the DMs. I just sent a test to see if it like requeue the convo, but it didn't.
I vaguely remember what they said though. Um, you know, I'm sure you do too, right? Or no?
Very vaguely. Yeah. I mean, if you've read it, you probably remember it. If you read it
Yeah,
recently, you probably remember it better than I do.
yeah. It was when you were doing the Holy shit! Hang on, I have them. I have the DMs.
Do you really?
I
Let's hear it.
do. I
Wait?
do, man.
How do you have them?
Okay, wait, hang on.
Did I delete them? Maybe.
I don't know. I'm just looking at the DMs through Twitter
Hang
on
on.
my PC.
Yeah. Let me go on the Computron here.
Yeah, I've noticed that on mobile
No.
you like lose shit.
Nope. I see the one I just sent you that says test, and I see no other
Mhm.
DM. I got cucked. Or maybe because I have a ton of DMs, because that's how people feel
You know,
like is appropriate to reach me
sure.
in current year.
You're
That maybe just
you're gonna love
filters
this.
out.
You know where it started? NA revival.
Wow. Funny, I thought about that the other day, man. The NA revival.
February 10th, 2014.
Funny. So okay. So our first. I want people to know for the record. I've been trying to sell you for 3 years. I didn't know it then. But if we're going back to February of 2014, that's crazy. And so what was the convo?
Um, I would like there was this guy. I said, "Hey, I'm so and so's friend." He told me about NA revival. I'd be happy to help in any way possible. You just let me know. And the reason why I thought I could be helpful is because I had that following coming straight out of COD, like still very active. Like I had like 12,000 followers, but there was like 100 people that tweeted me every single day. Um, and I had like a decent influence in the COD community. I wouldn't say the biggest, but I had a decent sized influence.
Because there was a time that you won a gunfight or something.
Yeah. And you're like, I'm not sure what happened with that movement. Did something new get announced? So I said, I don't think so, but he just told me that you were trying to do an NA revival of PC comp and that I could probably help. Is that no longer? And you were like, a possible next Ryu Land event isn't set just yet. If when it is, I'll definitely let you know though. Have to handle some stuff. So I'm sure that's when you were like dealing with you were still in your like real life job.
Oh, it was full time still.
Yeah.
2014, yeah. Oh yeah.
Exactly. Yep.
So you come on board in, I guess this is what, 2016, last year, right? And it was right around March. I don't remember when your contract started, but very
Middle of
shortly,
March.
yeah, very shortly thereafter, we found ourselves over the pond, as they say, and we were on land getting cucked, absolutely smashed
Oh
by
man.
Config and Magic's boy. Um, Bad.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Yeah.
I think you remember. I don't know if you remember. I mean, I'm sure you remember getting absolutely demolished at that event. But do you remember what I said after we got destroyed and we were eliminated? What I said in the booth, because they had the soundproof booths there.
Um, I'm pretty sure I didn't. Oh man, didn't you say you said something like it was? Are you looking for an exact phrase? Because you said a lot of things.
No,
Okay.
no, not an yeah. I said a lot of things, not an
Yeah, you
exact
said
phrase, but just the gist of what I said.
yeah. I mean, it was our first LAN. It was mine and Mitch's first LAN, and nah, dude, I don't remember exactly what you said.
Yeah, I just said I need you guys to know there's going to be an obscene amount of shit talk. You're going to hear it here. You're going to see it online. It's going to be like everywhere. And you guys just need to keep your heads down. Ignore that shit. We know we're better than we played right now. This was the first event. We'll do better. Yeah, that was rough, man. That was a rough first go. What was that like for you? So your first, you come off of winning the gunfight and having these like crazy LAN events in a Call of Duty game, and then you come over to CS:GO. You put in hard work, you grind, you get signed and picked up by a professional team, and then your first LAN event is basically you're on the other side of a Mike Tyson knockout. What was that? What was going through your head? Did you start to think like, shit, I missed a controller? Can I just go back?
No, not once, not once. But my original thought was like how I felt the rest of those like 4 days there or whatever, because we literally get there on the first day and we get knocked out on the first day. That's ridiculous. Was like, damn, dude. I just like we did all this practice, we traveled all this way, and then we just played all of our matches on the first day and just lost out. So I was like super sad about that. That was like the primary thing. But as far as like getting knocked out that hard, like at my first CS LAN, like it was I kind of expected it almost, or not really expected, but I was prepared. You know what I mean? I was prepared to get wrecked by, especially when we knew that like the old SK and Virtus Pro was going to show up in Tempo Storm. Like we knew that those guys were going to be some difficult opponents. But
Sure.
yeah, I mean, I was prepared for it honestly, so it wasn't too bad.
So after that, we flew back, and then pretty quickly after, we went to Austin. Did we go somewhere first? We went from London back, went to Austin because we were there for a couple weeks.
Yeah, London was at the end of April. It was like 28th.
Okay,
whatever.
So that makes sense because DreamHack I think was
and then
May,
DreamHack,
right?
yeah.
So then we went to Austin. And we spent time in the house there. We were there for I guess like 4 days before DreamHack, and then the whole week after, preparing for the minor. What was the DreamHack experience like for you? Because I mean, we were in the house, we got a little bit of practice in. It was the first time like all of us were like in, like staying in the same house.
Yeah.
We had mainline dropping killer lines and having a good time. We had Skylar whispering to people. We had Uber locking the bathroom door from the wrong side and eating celery with his Cheerios. Like, what was that whole experience like?
The event of infinite stories is what it is.
So true. That's so true. I kind of wish.
I honestly loved everything about DreamHack Austin. Like, I really did. I mean, it's unfortunate that we only played 2 teams at the event, and we won against one, and then lost twice against the other.
Right.
So I mean that sucked, right? Losing both games to Liquid, but knocking out Energy was good, was fun. So taking that win, but more importantly for my playing experience there, like playing in front of like a big crowd. Like there'd probably be a lot of people that would consider that not to be a big crowd compared to like the arenas that they've played in,
Sure.
for like majors or whatever.
I think they said there was 1,500 to 2,000 people. I've got pictures if someone wanted to do the estimates, but it wasn't like 30 people. It wasn't like Civo Gfinity in London.
Yeah.
It was bleachers full.
Virtus Pro, dude.
One more time.
One more time.
Forgot about those guys.
Bro, oh my god. Dude, yeah, no, but the crowd was nice because, like they did get loud at times. Not really for us, but I mean, it was cool to even hear their presence, even if they were, like screaming for the other team. So, yeah, it was fun, man. As far as like the living experience for those 2.5 weeks or so with the team, again, loved everything about it. Like just funny shit every single day. Every single day. It was just a good time, and we still accomplished pretty much everything that we wanted to, right, when we jumped on the game. So
so that for that event, if you remember, we played the online qualifier. Mm-hmm. That was the event that Daps overslept the qualifier, so Optic wasn't in it, or they were Conquest at the time, or whatever. And they had consistently beaten us. So if they were in it, there was a chance that maybe we wouldn't have made it. But we had that opportunity. We lost first map against Tempo Storm or Luminat. I don't remember which one they were. No, it was Tempo
Um,
Storm. Because they
yeah, they were
became
tempo
immortals.
back.
Tempo
Yeah.
Storm. Lost map 1, beat them in the next 2. They ended up getting invited anyway, which is super horseshit. Because if we would have lost, we wouldn't have gone and we would not have gotten invited. Anyway, um, beat them. We get to go to the event. We play Energy, who had been talking a lot of shit, specifically about Mitch. And to be very clear and on the record, talking shit about Mitch is completely acceptable and often welcomed. Um, and there was even in that match, if you remember, right? Like Uber had like a 1v4 pistol round, and Uber was not a very clutch player for us in terms of his role, right? We kind of wanted him to go in first. We had Skylar win a round with no mouse. Remember, his mouse died, and he had to just jiggle peek with his keyboard against Gabi in a one-on-one on Overpass. And then Mitch put up like 130 ADR on them in the third map and just completely farmed them. We win that series. Now we have to play Liquid again. Lose that one, but we had a big crowd. We got to sign autographs. Like it was a very very cool experience for me. What was that like for you coming over from Call of Duty and seeing that from the CS:GO side?
Uh, you know, it was a change for sure. Like I didn't hate it and I didn't love it right away yet, but it was definitely a change and it was a good change. Like I enjoyed it. I mean, I've told plenty of people this, but like one of the main reasons as to why I stopped playing Call of Duty was just because, I didn't I lost my love for the game and then I didn't really at the same time like I didn't enjoy the community or like even really many of the players at that point in time. So, it was a nice change. I can say that for sure.
So from there, we stayed in the house an extra week to boot camp and get ready for the minor. We did okay at the minor. We placed fourth. Um, we lost a couple close maps to TSM because somebody on our team was forgetting the utility usage we had spent 2 weeks dry running. And we won't name anybody because I don't want to call Uber out for that. Um, we go there. We come in fourth. Not bad. We had a really nice comeback against Luminosity, the new Brazilian Luminosity team, on Cobblestone. If I remember, I was like 12-3. We ran it back, beat them 16-14. I think you had a 1v2 or 1v3 at some point in that because I know that's in our highlight video. And after that event, do you remember what we did? Because that kind of shifted the direction of our team. I don't know if you remember what happened after.
Uh, well, after the minor was when we like after like competing, but we were still there. That's when we made the change of removing Uber and then picking up. Fuck, who was it that we picked up? I just went blank.
So there was a whole lot of things that took place, right? Because it was James's birthday, Hayes' birthday. Am I
Yeah.
thinking of the right event?
Wait, was that the minor?
I'm pretty sure it was because he was there to support FNS,
Yeah. Yeah.
and we
Okay.
were
Yeah.
hanging out in the
Yeah. That
players' lounge
was.
at the
Yeah.
MLG studio. Yeah.
Yeah.
So for those that don't know, this is kind of like breaking news from a year ago. Um, After that event, we went out to whatever that restaurant was across from the hotel, where Uber just kept like ordering the same thing. Like, do you remember that? Like every day, it was like chicken wings or something.
Dude, no, it was this giant plate of nachos.
Nachos, that's right. That's right.
But it was mixed with like a
Oh
hundred other
man.
things, but it was gigantic.
And we sat at the table and we talked about the issues that we were having, right? Like losing rounds because somebody forgets to throw a smoke, then freaks out that the smoke isn't there, and then realizes that it was their smoke that was supposed to be thrown. You're just kind of like, yeah, man, I don't want to call you out for it, but come on, Uber.
And the fifth player from the original roster I met back in Austin has moved
Right.
on.
Hang on.
Best of luck,
Somebody,
Nifty.
I think somebody donated. I have the alerts
Oh,
loaded.
okay. Yeah.
There's a resub from JB Genius. The fifth player from the original roster I met in Austin has moved on. Best of luck, Nifty. Thanks, JBG.
Word.
Appreciate the
Yeah,
resub
yeah.
on
I
that.
mean, dude, anytime
So-
here, like we can stop and just talk about random shit. It's cool.
Yeah, so we go to that table, and do you remember the question that I asked? Because there was one answer that we all kind of like laughed at when we were evaluating. Because I said, guys, listen, like we're gonna maybe not be friends for the next 15 minutes. It's gonna be maybe a little awkward, a little uncomfortable. But let's just put everything out on the table. Let's get everybody on the same page and figure out what our next step forward is. And do you remember the question that I asked?
I do remember. I hope this was the question because it was a big one. The Olafmeister scale. Am I right?
You got it. You nailed it, man.
Okay.
That was impressive.
Yeah. So
Good recall.
what Steve did was we sit down at this table, okay, and he says exactly what he said. You know, for the next 15 minutes, like we're probably not gonna be friends. All right, we're just gonna just be straight with each other. So we were around the table like one by one, like, okay, what do you think of him? You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. And he said the question was, if you were to rate so and so on the Olafmeister scale from like 1 to 10, 1 to like Olafmeister, what would you rate him? And at the time, like Olafmeister was still
It was
considered
the
the
best player in the
best.
world.
Yeah. And that was the question, and some of the answers, man, like some of them were expected from certain people, and then some of them were completely unexpected. Like they were great answers.
So the way that worked, and the reason that I asked that is because I wanted people to be very honest about what they thought about themselves as a player and their teammates, right? So, it was like if Olafmeister is a 10 when he's at his peak, what are you? Like where are you?
Right.
And some people said, I think Mike said like a 5 or like a 6. Mike being mainline. And do you remember what Uber said?
Yeah.
What did he say?
He dropped an 11 bomb.
He's like, I think everyone here could be 11s, and it was like, yeah, dude, this is part of the reason why we're not winning. It was so funny, just the way he said it, and he did like the crossing of his fingers, like the interlocking of his fingers, and just what a legend Uber is. And so we talked about it at the table, and we had agreed that we weren't going to say anything, no matter what happens, no matter what the outcome is. We're just going to keep it between us. We'll go back. We'll make decisions then. And a certain young Michael Stapels did not follow those instructions when we decided that we were going to put him on the bench. And he went to Twitter and tweeted out, that I am stepping down from the starting 5, blah, blah, blah. It was like, okay. Next day, go out to dinner. Or it was a Brazilian barbecue place or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's good.
Mm-hmm.
It was really good.
Yeah,
And
it was great.
It was Hayes' birthday, and I'm like, look at this, Nifty. This is weird. The commissioner of E-League just followed me on Twitter. Like, oh, dude, look who just DM'd me. The commissioner of E-League just DM'd me. This is super weird. Dude, I'm getting a phone call. Hey, I gotta go outside. This is crazy. Go outside, and sure enough, that was our invite to Season 1 of E-League, where we got to play against Nip and G2 and Optic. And it was literally like a handful of hours after Uber decided to not obey instructions, or we probably would have used him at the event. And the person that we picked up to replace him was Connor93.
That's right.
We had basically 1 week's notice. I remember the conversation with Minsick, and he's like, can you guys be here on Monday or Tuesday? I'm like, yeah. But dude, you tell me when and where, and we will be there. And sure enough, we kind of scrounged and made it work. Almost beat G2, almost beat Nip, 16-12, 16-13 kind of games on LAN, which is pretty awesome for us. And yeah, that was a whole different experience from coming from the qualifier or the minor, coming in 4th, feeling kind of like, well, we didn't take the step that we needed to take at this event. When we went to E-League, we felt pretty confident in how we were playing. What did you think of that experience with E-League? Because from my perspective, they treated their players better than any other tournament I've ever seen. Like that was the bar.
Yeah, no, it was super nice, man. Just beginning with like the introduction of bringing you to the hotel, all the stuff they gave you, Like the service, the people that were even doing those jobs like were really really nice. And then of course the introduction that you got once you got to the studio, by Minsick and essentially like his crew and Christina. It was all super super great, man. Like it was really really good. And of course that was my first time, other than Gfinity, way back in April, like getting to play against those top teams, especially more than like one map as well. um, so overall, the E League experience was insane, in my opinion, and that was season 1, week 2. Was
Week
it?
two,
Were we in
yeah.
there week 2? Yeah. So I thought they did incredibly well for being season 1, week 2.
And there was certainly some antics that took place that week. I think there was some player salary being spent on some dancing ladies in the Atlanta area by some of the members of our team. Neither one of us, actually, funny enough. There was a water buffalo incident that we can't go into too much detail on.
No, I can't get into detail.
Oh
But
man, but we
let's
had
just say
fun.
there was a water buffalo in Atlanta, middle of Atlanta. So
Right, surrounded by
no worries.
teammates.
It happens.
Anyway, we one thing that I don't think people got to see or appreciate, and I think you guys actually felt it when I came in and dropped a .9 FPR in our match the other night, is compared to other teams, I felt like our team always had the most fun. Like we didn't always win, but man, we always had stories. We always laughed. Like we always had Mike just
We did, man.
just
We
being
had
Mike.
we had some characters.
We did.
It's just
We
like
really did.
our
But we laughed a lot,
6
man, and-
yeah, our 6 personalities together in a room, like it was a comedy show, dude. Like it was good.
But the thing is, like, we had, like, we obviously laughed and we had fun and we had stories, but when we compared ourselves to some of the other teams, it felt like some of the other teams, like, didn't, like, they wouldn't even hang out with each other, right? But, like, we did, and we laughed and we had fun, and when you're grinding, people think that, like, being a pro gamer is, like, the easiest job and it's a dream job, but it's a lot of hard work and it can be very taxing, and I think we did a good job of keeping the balance of focus and hard work while also balancing fun, laughter, funny stories, watching Uber like eat a celery stalk with his Cheerios, like just like funny stuff that I don't feel like other teams appreciated. And that was certainly a week where, like being able to hang out with like Get Right and Forrest and those guys and like
Yeah.
drink outside of that hotel and just not you because you're underage and that would be illegal, but
Yeah.
just like have fun, like and kind of unwind. It made me that week feel like really included in the CS:GO community, and obviously I had been already, but just being able to like take things offline and laugh with the people you just competed with and against was super super fun.
100%. And interacting with like the talent as well, and the people behind the scenes running the event. Super cool, dude.
Yeah, and those people are
An experience like no other that I have. That
the
I've
people
had.
behind the scenes hardly ever get any thanks or praise or anything. And
Nah,
actually,
not at all.
one of the guys that was the admin for us is the guy that actually went out to the team house and built the desks and stuff for you guys before we got there because he was in Atlanta and I couldn't get out there in time.
I remember you saying.
Yeah, so we went from London to Austin to Columbus, Ohio to Atlanta, and that was like the first time we made that roster change when we had Connor. Connor was kind of back and forth on if he was going to be able to fully commit, because he had his job, and he didn't know if he was going to be able to play like full time, like we were doing, talking about the team house and that kind of stuff. Obviously, we made some additional changes at that point, and we've been through a couple different roster iterations, especially recently. I mean, I guess not like super recent, but past 6 months, like there's been a lot of kind of turnover.
Yeah.
There was Connor coming in for Uber, then we sold Skylar. And Skylar and Mitch, man, maybe we should just spend the next hour talking about those two. Like freaking old married couple, those two. Just like going back in my head to like Mitch just annoying the shit out of Skylar at the house. It's just like, oh man.
Yeah, I mean,
Old married couple, those two.
The fact that 5 was only a roster for a little over like 3 months, and we had like the relationship as a whole team, it was like something similar to a family. You know what I mean? Because like you have like you could think of them as like two brothers almost, like just one guy annoying the shit out of the other guy, and then like some of the rest of us talk about it, and then kind of just like point and laugh and sit back and watch type of thing. Like it was fun, dude. It was good.
It was
It was
fun.
good times.
It was a good time. So then we ended up with, trying to remember the order that this all took place, because we still had Mainline and we had Connor. We sold Skylar. When did we drop Mike? Because that's when you started a call.
It was whenever the beginning of the next season was. I don't remember I think it was August. It's
probably around there, because then
it was around the beginning of August, because we played four pro league matches before we moved into the house, and we moved into the team house like August 20th or something. So yeah, around the beginning of August.
Because that was right before. So at that point we had Vince and did we add? Yeah, because when we added, so I keep using first names. When we added Breeze and No One, shortly thereafter we competed at the LAN event in Toronto, the Northern Arena Toronto event.
Right. Oh, dude, that event.
And actually, so that's when we picked up Jake. That's about the time we picked up Jake. That's the time frame that Caboose came on board. Because we wanted to use him
at the same time.
Yeah, we wanted to use Caboose instead of Connor for E-League, but he was too young and we couldn't. That's the reason we used Connor instead of Caboose. And so at that point, we ended up starting the season. You were calling. We're going to kind of real quickly recap everything, right? Former Call of Duty player, comes over to CSGO, works super hard, starts to climb the ranks, starts to impress, gets signed by a pro team, comes a full couple months in, and now he's being asked to lead the team. What was that like? Not only, like, what was it like to have that put on you, especially because me, the coach, was no longer there. I was in California for ESL, so you were there. You had the responsibilities of that, and what was it like? A, having the responsibilities, and B, actually having to call and be the IGL.
You know what? I'm gonna tell you, I was in over my head, man. I was in over my head, man, to be honest. I mean, I only had one season of Pro League experience beforehand, but I was actually very, very confident that I could call and like lead the team. I think what made it way more of a challenge than it could have been was the fact that we were in the team house, just us 5. It was just different, man. I can't say that personalities mixed easily, but I can say for sure that Vince is my homie. All right, Breeze is the homie. I love Breeze, dude. Caboose also like super easy to get along with. Matt, dude. All right, Matt.
Matt is No One, for those that don't know.
Yeah, sorry. He's not a guy that you could ever say like bad things about him as a person, dude. Because he's so like passive. But like he'll tell you like what he's thinking. He'll tell you what he's thinking, man. If he really really wants to, or if he has to. But like he's like a super nice person. All those things. There's just something about the personalities, man, that I feel like if they mixed better, we could have worked more as a unit. But it was really, really just way more difficult than I expected, dude. Especially jumping into the house and playing with those guys. Especially because that 5, like, we never played an online match together either. Because the first 4 games, we still played with Skylar, I think.
Right.
So, we were just jumping into team house. Hadn't played even an online game. I don't even think even a scrim before we moved into the house. But what I can tell you is that we were in the house for 5 days, and we went to Northern Arena and played out of our minds.
So we get to Toronto, right? And in our group was Tempo Storm, or Immortals. I guess they were Immortals at that time.
Yeah, yeah.
Heroic, who had just broken into the top 10 in the world, and didn't we play? Oh, Splice. We did play. We
Yeah,
opened up against Splice.
yeah. We played
We
twice.
played Splice. We beat them pretty. It was like a beatdown, right? Like 64 or something. It wasn't close.
Yeah, it was like something crazy like that first map, and then second map was more towards like they had like 8 or 9 rounds, I think.
Yeah, and I just remember like the second the game ended, Davey was there shaking her hands. Like you could tell he was just like super pissed off that they lost. And obviously, so you weren't a part of that, but we had beaten Splice to win the first ever North American minor. So there was always a little bit of that, like let us play them on land. They're never going to beat us kind of attitude. And as you know, like I've always with our team, I had always been like, let's not celebrate too much. Let's not get too down, right? Let's be like really even keel. And Splice was the team that had Abe back in the day, who was like screaming, like doing that shriek that he does. So they would win one meaningless round and like lose their minds. And I never wanted us to be that way. So we always just kind of had that rivalry on land. We beat them, and then we go and we play. That's when we played Heroic, and we played them on Train.
Yep.
And we got a big lead, and it was looking really, really good for us. And we ended up losing, I think, on the T side.
No, CT side.
Was it our CT?
CT side, we were at 13-7. 13-7, dude. Bro, I kid you not. I thought I called a hell of a T half. And I think we finished the half either 9-6 in our favor or it was 8-7. But out of those 8 rounds that we won, they like 6 or 7 of them were gun rounds. Dude.
Right.
Like they were
the
good
type of thing where you feel like you're winning.
Yeah.
Like it's one thing to farm eco kills, but when you're winning gun rounds clean, it feels strong.
Yep. And when we got to the CT side, like I thought I had called really, really well off the start. I was kind of helping organize like the pushes or like the setups. We were doing really, really well with that. And we hit that like 13-7 point, and I don't know if I want to say we let off the gas, but something happened. I know I definitely messed I remember it. I messed up 2 big rounds when we were coming back, when we started losing 13-7. It was like the very next round, and then somewhere where it was like 13-11. I made mistakes, but I'm sure everyone did.
Sure.
And that's where I found it like really hard to jump over that hurdle and then try to get my team back into the game, and just start being confident again and not being afraid to make plays. That's why it was like a sad like 3 minutes of like packing up our gear afterwards, but then we had like a little talk like right outside the venue right afterwards, and everybody felt pretty good afterwards because we really did play really, really well.
It was like a 16-14. We played well. We could have won that. We obviously didn't, but we could have. Versus sometimes when you get beat, you're like, damn, like we just got wrecked. We didn't feel that way. We felt like, damn, we might have beaten ourselves. That was our win. Then we had to play late, really late that night. We kind of got cucked on that against Winter Fox, and this is right when Winter Fox replaced their whole team with people that are now the countrymen of your current teammates. And the owner of Winter Fox, who I've known for a while, his name's Brian, was really mad at me because when I was doing the ESL Pro League, I kept saying Winter Fox hates America because they kicked off their American team and then imported non-Americans into the North American region. So he was like super, super tilted with me to begin with. We played them on the first map. It was Mirage. We were up 12-3. They ran it back in overtime. We beat them in overtime. Next map goes to Cobblestone. It was never close. They won knife round. I don't know if you remember. They won knife round and gave us T-side.
Yeah.
And Mitch just ran around with a Mac 10 farming and like troll like.
And that was like
run
a 2
over
a.m.
rifles
match.
to keep his Mac 10.
That was like a 2 a.m. match too, wasn't it?
Yeah, we were playing super, super late because and it sucked because they hadn't started until like 5 or 6 hours after we were the first match, and then we had to play the last match, which was a super, super shitty long day. And hang on, Blue just tweeted something.
Your boy Blue. This guy in chat says Winter Fox stole American jobs.
They did. They really did. I hate the new Twitter reply. I hate the new Twitter reply.
I dude. Yeah, I'm not a fan. But it'll be like one of those things where like
I want to reply to blue, but just so that everybody can see it. Yeah, I'll find a way to make it. Anyway, so yes, so then we ended up playing a couple close maps against Immortals. At that point, we felt good. Like the team felt good. We didn't win, but we felt like, yeah, this is a team that we could absolutely win with. Is that how you felt?
Yep. Yes, 1000%, man. After we finished up in Northern Arena completely competing, like we were knocked out, I was like, dude, we are gonna go back to the team house and we're just gonna smash so many teams in Pro League,
Right.
dude. Like I was legitimately thinking like, this is the squad. Like, this is the squad. That was all I was thinking.
And that's where we got to witness, like, for the first time, the Brezzy on LAN.
The Brez, yeah. The Brezzy on land, dude. It's a sight everyone needs to see.
So Brezzy went nuts. Breeze played insane, especially on that Mirage match. I think he might have hit 40. Like he went nuts at that event. We felt good, and then I went back to Cali for ESL, and you went back to IGLing, which I think you improved wildly from the start of the season to the end of the season as an IGL. I think that was a great experience for you from the outside, and season didn't really pan out. We had head to head over like almost everybody we played, but we lost a lot of close maps. I think it was nine maps by 4 rounds or less.
Yeah. That's something. I mean, that's something I can hand to the team though, is that we always played close games, even against like some of the best teams in the league. So it's a good. It just we could never get that next step. You know, if we figured out how to get over that next step, you know, and like so that we could just we would have taken, I'd have to say like 9 more W's.
But yeah, just a
Maybe
little bit of closing power. The little
I
Mariano
actually,
Rivera effect.
Yeah, I actually think that we could have probably qualified for the LAN.
Yeah, if we had 9 more wins, we would have had 16 wins or something. Like, we would have been up there. So at that point, season ends. Not really sure what we're gonna do. Felt mixed at that point with the team. Then we had, after that season was what, October-ish. That's when we started to get through the process of WSG, right? When was that in Brazil?
I
remember
Brazil,
the Pro
it was
League
October
regular season
23rd.
Was October. Yep. Okay.
Yeah. It was either we either like started on the 23rd or it was like the 18th or something. But yeah, it was right there in the middle of October.
Okay. And then you guys go down to Brazil. I wasn't with you guys on that trip.
Yeah, that's why I thought it was going to be interesting. But it went fairly well.
Well, someone stole it. You guys won. So
Yeah.
let's say that. What did that feel like? Because and I say that because and I don't want to insult the teams that we beat there, but we beat some tier low teams, right? There was the Team Canada is who we beat in the finals. We played Chile, Argentina, a couple Brazilian teams. You know, this was the national tournament, right? So we played national teams, some of which were better than others. But you guys ended up winning. That was a $30,000 first place check that someone in Brazil stole the physical check, right? It was the taxi driver or whatever stole the check. And B, we still haven't been paid for that event, by the way. So those two things aside, what was it like to win that event?
So
even though it wasn't like we had just beaten like Navi, you know,
right?
What did that feel like?
Right. So me personally, I'd imagine everyone else thought close to the same, but me personally, I didn't consider it like, you know, oh, this big win, you know what I mean? Like, oh, we're the fucking best now, you know what I mean? But I definitely thought it was like like let's take this win and then just kind of use that as confidence and let's roll with it. You know what I mean? Like let's ride the wave, even though it wasn't a big win, but we won, right? Like we
On land.
traveled there, right? It was land. We traveled there. We won. You know, like we spent almost like a week there, and like we did it. So I thought that maybe now when we came back, you know, things could we could have turned things around even then. You know, something was with the team, dude. We just didn't click anymore, dude.
So now we're at this point, right, where you guys went to that event, won it, got the invite to the China event, the World Championships in China, which we went to in January.
Yeah.
In the off season, we had a lot of interest in the Brezzy, and some interest in you. And I don't know if I feel comfortable revealing some of the orgs that had interest in the two of you that were looking to build kind of a young potential super team, of not proven talent super team that style, but potential super team. What were you thinking then? Like, did you want to stay? Did you want to rebuild? Were you hoping somebody was going to buy you? What was that like then?
So it's like, cause I knew that Breeze was gonna go, right? Like there was no way if he got any type of better offer than the state of our current team, like he was gonna go. And honestly, like I wanted to go with him. I wanted to go with him because I felt like with that exact roster, like he was the dude where like we meshed the best. Like if it was ever him and I in a 2vx, we worked that shit, bro. We worked that shit. We won like 90% of those rounds, and like that's like you can just tell like between him and I, like we worked well together and we got along. We had a lot of fun. But honestly, like I wanted to go where he was going, and try to stay in that same boat with him, but just didn't work out that way. So
And there was a chance that
it is what it was.
You, the Brezzy, and I'm going to explain the Brezzy because that came from the WSG China event, so we'll get there. You, the Brezzy,
Yeah.
and Twists, currently on Misfits, we're all going to be on the same team. That was one of the potential rosters that had emerged, and that would have been, I think that would have been pretty nuts. You upping those two rifling, that's some young blood right there with a lot of potential, and that's the type of thing that if you build that as a core, put a good IGL on it, the long tail, right, the long 5 to 8 year, we don't know if CSGO will be around, but that's the opportunity there, right, is you've got young players you can develop that have high potential, and there's no one that's 28 that's going to retire in a year. That roster looked kind of juicy. I was hoping that roster was going to happen. Yeah, and I know you know who the other players were. So that it seemed like it might happen. Didn't. There was some back and forth on what people who wanted the Breeze. Bunch of different orgs were offering. One of those orgs was interested in both of you coming as like a package. The other one wasn't. Then that kind of went. They kind of kept bidding against each other, which is good for the Selfless bank account. And he ended up going to Energy, and they said, well, they already had Fugly and Peter still under contract, or their contracts were ending like in a month or two. They obviously kept those two because they're still on the team. Picked up Breeze, picked up Daps, and picked up Marky, which I don't think anybody really saw coming. And as part of that deal, we said, we will sell you the Brezzy, but we get to use him in January at WSG China. They said okay. And then at that point, we were like, okay, well, what do we do team-wise? Because, we knew the Brezzy was going to be leaving. So we knew we were going to have to kind of fill. And the guys were interested in some sort of a IGL-type dealio, and that's when we brought in the Slim Dog.
Yeah.
So when that happened, I'm forgetting. Who left at the end of the season? Well, if we still played with Breeze.
Oh, remember we stopped playing with Mitch?
Mitch, right? That's right.
Yeah.
And yes, okay. Now we're getting caught up. So this is way more recent. In my head, I'm thinking like 2 years ago. This is way more recent. This is a couple months ago, man. Esports time flies. So
I know,
yeah, this is
right?
when we decided that we had a little bit too much of Mitch eating ice cream and playing Rocket League when we were hoping everyone was gonna be trying to get better at CS:GO, and he wanted to move on. I think he was trying to join Mike's team. He wanted to go with Mike. They ended up getting picked up by E United, and we picked up the Slim Dog because the guys said like, yeah, let's get an IGL, let Nifty focus on just fragging people with the AWP, blah blah blah. So that's what we did. And I also want to say, because I know that this is going to get recorded and clipped and all that good stuff, that Mitch lost a foot race to Uber, and Uber was wearing pajamas. So I just want very clear about how pathetic that was. Fucking Mitch, dude. Fucking golf with friends, man.
Yeah, Mitch was talking like mad shit beforehand.
Yeah, he was too. Like
Sure.
he was gonna be fucking.
You think I would lose to
Usain
Uber,
Bolt out
there, bro?
Everything about that race was uncomfortably awkward. Like, if you remember how they started, like Mitch like jumped the gun and then like stutter stepped and then like Bill lost. Like, holy shit.
Yeah, dude. Do you think Mitch would have won, bro, if we put some cookies and cream ice cream down at the other end?
Yeah. Oh hell yeah. And a Bass Pro Shops hat. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would have won that. He would have won that for sure. But anyway, so that's when we parted ways with Mitch. It sounded like Mitch was looking to go play with Mike. I think Mitch kind of likes that like low drive, let's play with your friends and have fun, instead of like the high drive grind and try to win a major, right? That just seemed to be a better environment for him. So he left, picked up Slemmy, got you guys into the team house for a couple weeks before the Chinese event. We had to go through like that crazy process with the visas and all that stuff. You guys had to send in your passports. Then they sent me all the passports back. Then I had to bring all the passports except Vince's because he looked Asian, and China was like, this is an Asian looking person, and they had to do his separately. That was like super racist, by the way. I'll just say that, right? They see a picture of Breeze and he's Asian, and they're like, no, listen, this is a separate process. And it's like, all right, thanks, China, for that.
I don't even know what that was, man. But I'll tell you what, compared to the China visas, the Brazilian visas were out of this world, man. Process. Like, it was like a week-long process, and we had to fill out 100,000 documents, and like...
You're saying it was harder than the Chinese one?
Oh, yeah, way harder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I think the reason for that is we paid someone for the Chinese ones.
Probably.
We said, hey, Chinese, I can't remember the name of the company, Chinese travel something, but they did everything, right? Like, we sent them all the basic info, filled that shit out, sent it in with all the things they wanted. It's still in the Discord channel, by the way, of like all the things that they needed, and they handled it. And what was funny about that, so we send all that in, you guys go to the team house, I come out for a couple days before we all go, and we all fly together from Atlanta to China.
Yeah. Flights. Oh.
First match is against Tyloo, hometown team, on the stage, and we get shit on map 1.
Oh, yeah.
And as part of the veto process, we picked their 2 best maps, right? The only maps that we know that they're good at, Mirage and Cash. They shit on us in the first one, and then we're like, all right, guys, like, settle down, it's fine, whatever. Dude, I'm not gonna lie, I was like super nervous because we were getting wrecked in scrims. I wasn't really comfortable with the way Slemmy was calling yet because it was new to me, him as an IGL. And as a coach, I don't want to overstep and call over him, right? Like the way that Mike and I had done it was very much like he would say something, and if I agreed with it, I just didn't say anything. If not, I'd be like, I don't know, I think we should kind of do this. And then CT side, I was very active in calling the setups. But it was we had like the chemistry to where that worked. I definitely didn't have that with Alec at that point.
Yeah,
and
nah.
We get there, make the comeback on the second map, play pretty well. First day after that loss, I don't think we dropped another map, right? We lost to Tyloo day 1, and then that was it. And we played a couple. Teams.
We went 5. But yeah,
like
we lost that map, and then we went 5-1. So we won the next.
And that was it the Russian team?
Team Russia just annihilated us.
On Cobble in a scrim. Bad.
Yeah.
But then who was the team that we played that the Brezzy was against? The Ukraine?
I know we lost to Dark Passage.
We split with Dark Passage. We went 1-1.
Did we?
Yeah. We got 2-0'd by Ketzel. which
Oh yeah, that's right,
which
dude.
do you remember how weird those games were? People were accusing us of throwing because they were the shit tier
Man.
team in the group. They played the weird like it's like a 2-on-2, or it was like, do you remember that? Like they had two people left. I can't remember how many we had left, and they split up. And then like one faked one site, one faked the other site. Then one came back by himself with the bomb, and the other guy didn't commit. It was like
it was something else.
Just remember that like being. That's one of those types of games where it's like I don't know what they're doing because they don't know what they're doing, and we were just getting cucked all over. So anyway, we played. Dude. I think it was Ukraine. The guy's name was like Mike E. Right?
Yeah. No,
like
Mike
that?
S.
Was it Mike S? He was pretty solid. Looked a little shaky. Ended up winning both maps. You went super BM at the end, by the way, and I was pissed. Do you remember this? I was mad. You knifed one. I was okay with it. Then you took your knife out and ran at a guy shooting directly into your face. And they even said something back like I
didn't get to see it either, dude, because the game ended instantly.
Yeah. They said something in game chat about the BM, so it was rough. But that Breeze just laid it on them on Mirage. Mirage is like his home map. And when we walked over to shake their hands after, as we were walking back, this is where the Brezzy thing came in. And one of the guys was just like, "Hey, who is the Brezzy?"
Yeah,
and then Vince was just like,
It was like while we were walking out, like we all finished shaking their hands. Hey, I'm already like I was like the first one out because I was like the first one in to shake their hands, and I'm like around the corner, and all I hear from like inside that station is, "Who was the Brezzy?" It was just like that. It just started cracking up, dude.
Yeah, because the Brezzy laid it on them in that game, and so we ended up. I think at that point we felt like we were almost out of the group, but we weren't sure. We needed a win against Quetzal, and then we would have been, I think, maybe in the potential for first in the group because we were like a round or two off head to head against Tyloo, but if they had lost to someone, we would have been fine. And I think to us, we were like, yeah, we're gonna 2-0 Quetzal. They 2-0'd us, and then we were kind of in a panic state of like we need a win against Dark Passage to have a chance. Somebody lost, we ended up splitting with them, and then we got third in the group. And then we played Space Soldiers. And this whole time, by the way, we weren't playing well. And I don't know if you felt the same way, but like when we played at Northern Arena, I felt like we played way better. Our results weren't as good. We didn't have as many wins, but we felt better. You with me? You got your fight. You got your cuck smile on going.
Yeah, no. Sorry. Sorry, I'm cucking someone in Steam messages right now.
Nice, dude.
And it's actually Drone, dude. I'm wrecking Drone. Hang on. Okay, I'm good. What's up?
So funny thing about Drone, man. And I don't think I've ever told you or anyone else this story. So when I do due diligence on players, I'm not going to go through the whole process, but I tend to get a good feel for who the player is as a person. It's more important to me than it probably is to most other owners. And when it came to, it was you and Whitmer and a few other people, I had reached out and said, like, tell me when you were on a team with Whitmer, what was that like? When you were on a team with Nifty, what's he like when you're losing? All those kinds of things. Drone reached out to me on his own accord. As far as I know, you didn't pay him for this. And just said, like, hey, I heard you guys are looking at Nifty. You should pick him up. Great fucking kid, amazing teammate, works super hard. Couldn't say enough good things about him. So you should thank that boy.
Nah, yeah. Nah.
Because since that time, you cucked him out of making Pro League in relegation.
Oh, yeah.
And then you cucked him out of the DreamHack Austin event.
Yeah. Nah, man. He knows, dude. He's a homie.
I wanted to pick him up, by the way.
I wallbanged him in that most recent match.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did, right in the face. And I don't even
he
know
was so upset about that.
I don't even know who he was talking to in game.
He was talking to the coach because he was the only one dead. So he was like saying that like Ellie, I think is their coach.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay.
It was like, he was like, did you fucking see that, dude? Like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah, that's pretty good. So, all right. So we're gonna rewind just a little bit. At WESG, this is when cucking, the term cuck, became super, super, super overused when you and I are playing together or talking to each other. Because Ocean, you remember this, right? Fucking Dude, Big Daddy OD.
I feel hella. Hang on, before you jump into this, just so everyone knows, right? When he gets into this story, I just want everyone to understand that I felt like pretty bad because I was the one who just could not stop laughing. Like everyone was laughing like when it first happened, but I could not stop laughing, dude. And we made him hella self-conscious. All right, go on.
So, so we're there. The first day, and they're doing like the media day, and it's not a normal media day. Normal media day is they schedule the teams, you show up, take pictures, move on. This was like all the teams there. They give you your jersey to wear in the pictures there, so then you have to go change. And then they do your makeup and your hair there, right? I don't have hair, so that was super easy for me. But like the way they were doing people's hair wasn't how they wanted to look. And do you remember that with Slemmy? Slemmy's got like a very, I guess he's got like really thin hair, but he does like the part to his side or whatever. And they basically just took like gel and just were like, and it was like the same haircut, except he just had like a clump of hair just like standing up.
Yeah, bro.
And so we were all laughing. He goes and gets his picture taken, whatever. They did, they did your hair, and then and K Kona comes over, and he's like, he just doesn't look good. You can just tell he ain't feeling real good about himself.
Nah, like something happened, bro. Like this dude looks like he just got molested. Something happened, dude.
He was shook. He was definitely shook. And he just says like, "Oh, they cucked me right in the dad hair." And we just lost it.
Dude, we couldn't hold it, dude. Not anymore,
oh,
dude.
Man, they cucked
I like just walk. I walk over. Nah, it was
dude.
so perfect, man. Because I think I was already done, like with my makeup. But I was
everybody
watching.
had their pictures and stuff taken.
Yeah. But I was watching someone else get their makeup done, and I remember walking back to put my coat on, and I just see. He's just standing there, like how he stands there, and he's just like looking, and he's the first guy I see, right? So I look up, I'm like, yo, what did they do to your hair, dude? And that's when it popped out. It's like, what do you mean? Oh, dude, they cucked me right in the dad hair. It was killer, bro.
He was so shook. He was so shook. He refused to get his picture taken on the media day and told him that he would come back and take the picture the day after.
He wasn't happy, bro.
And ever since that, it was just like we said, like cucked in the dad hair, like 100 times over the next like 2 days, and then just cucked has just been a regular part of the vocabulary since. Freaking OD, man. Oh god, that was so funny. That was a fun trip. They almost beat VP on LAN on Cobble, by the way. Kona, don't.
Dude, weren't they in like a crazy lead? But VP came back. It was like 14.
Yeah, they lost in overtime or something
like that.
So we play a couple of our matches. We play Space Soldiers. They sat across from us, so people didn't get a chance to see what it looked like. Picture like tables directly across from the teams. That was kind of our practice area. It was also where we played some of the matches. And we were told the day before from the admin that the next morning they were going to flip a coin and one of the teams was going to have to move. Now, Space Soldiers speaks English and Turkish. We don't speak anything other than English. So they're like, no, it's okay. We'll just stay here. We don't need to move. And I try to explain that we get there the next morning. The admin's like, oh, yeah, no, they said that you guys can move. They don't want to move. But if you don't want to move, it's fine. Like, yeah, because they understand what the hell we're saying. We have no idea what the hell they're saying. I just hear noises when they're talking. No, like, flip a coin. And they refused, so we ended up moving. Played them close first map, not so close second map. And then we were kind of out there. And the results of that tournament, to me, it seemed like we had a chance to make a run and make a shitload of money because that prize pot was pretty big. Didn't really feel like we played super well. I was really kind of disappointed in the way we played. Do you remember when because I wasn't allowed to coach. Remember, I couldn't even have a headset on. I was like this, coaching the whole time with no headset on. Yeah. And then we would take a timeout, and everyone would have to take their headsets off, turn around, and talk to me.
Which I remember was very, very painful for you.
It was super annoying.
I actually don't know if any other coach has shared this so far, so maybe you want to like try to explain like how you felt just watching us lose rounds where
It was awful. I
it's like
felt
easy to
helpless.
fix with like
Yes.
if you just like stepped in and said like one line,
Yep.
like we would maybe stop losing those
Yeah, I mean,
rounds or something.
I've been very clear that I hate this coaching rule. There, the implementation was just even worse, but I hated it. And do you remember? Because I really didn't like the way we were playing. Do you remember when we took timeouts, what I called? Because I talked about it on stream today. Like what the play was that I called. And it worked 8 out of 8 times.
Let's just rush B.
Boom. There it is.
Let's just rush B.
Rush B. Because you remember we were playing that the way that Slemmy had called of just sit there and do nothing, very slow, try to execute. And teams were one weighing our smokes, and teams were saving utility. It just wasn't working. Every time we rushed, every time I called the timeout and gave the play, it worked. I went 8 for 8. I was super proud.
Yeah,
of it.
like if we weren't going into sites later in the round and getting shut down by like mollies and just like flashes over and over and over, we would just be getting picked apart like on our default, you know? So it's like we were always either playing man down or we were going like 5v5 into a site, 25 seconds left, and they got like 4 mollies and about 18 flashes.
It wasn't working, and
yeah, nah.
So I was a little nervous, but I felt like, you know, Slemmy when we first brought him on, we had talked to him and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna watch demos, get the team prepared, gonna go over all my stuff, blah blah blah. I felt pretty good about his work ethic, and that he'd be prepared to play Luminosity. You guys played that relegation match against Luminosity and lost badly both maps.
Oh yeah, it was bad.
And that was kind of like a new low. Talk me through what was going on in your head, because that's not what you had been accustomed to.
Nah, I had never experienced a loss like that, dude. I was like, and I didn't play well in that game either. Like it was a rough game for everyone, dude. Like everyone just sucked. Like we were so bad. I had never experienced a loss like that, man. So there were thoughts like I was about to rework every single thing that I had ever worked on myself individually in the game. Like I had to take a break. I stepped away from the game for a week. Like I was MIA. I was not talking to anyone on Steam. I wasn't talking on Twitter, you know, nothing. I just needed a break, dude. Spend some time like thinking about stuff, and it was definitely a very, very new low for me back then. So,
what did you do to kind of get past that? And I ask this because I know there's valuable information here. In addition to the laughs about OD and getting cucked in the dad hair, there's also info and things that the next Nifty, right? That 15-year-old who's like, man, Call of Duty sucks every year. Let me switch to CSGO. They're going to watch this, and they're going to be like, man, I know exactly what he's talking about because I just had a loss like that, and I feel fucking horrible. What did you do to kind of get out of that? That, like, the funk of losing?
Right. So, basically, for that week where I did not touch Counter-Strike at all, right. So, I kind of just spent time thinking about, like, because as that happened, as we took that loss and like how the team had been just descending for the past however long, you know, it's like, dude, I don't even know what winning feels like anymore. Like, you know, like even just like an online match win. You know, I just thought, I was like, how can I like kind of like re-spark the like my love for the game, right? Because if I can enjoy it again to the point where when I was coming up, you know, joining the Selfless roster at first, you know, and being really, really excited to play, just pumped, just ready to go. I mean, like, what could re-spark that? You know, so I spent some time thinking about it and just like trying to build my love back up for the game again, and just kind of like telling myself, like, it's it's a low for sure, but it's about as low as you can get, man, because we just went out of pro league. You know what I mean? For as a professional player's career, that's the lowest, man. Other than, you know, if you get like banned or something, right? Because then you have no career. So like,
I'm sorry, were
I
you
really,
talking to iBuyPower right there?
I really don't have anywhere to go but up right now. You know what I mean? So like, I just gotta keep going. Like it's gonna happen. You know what I mean? Like good things are gonna come. I just need to keep working hard, just doing what I do best, and push through it. Because that's how it is. Like that's how people say like when you're going through a slump, just like a simple little slump in Counter Strike. People ask like pros all the time, like how do you get through slumps? You know, and like most of the time people just say you just got to push through them. You know, like don't change settings and shit like that. That's like a whole other topic. But uh, yeah, I mean you really do just have to set yourself straight mentally and then keep pushing through it. Like it's really like the only way. Otherwise, you have to have exterior help. So,
As in professional
as in,
help, family, like what do you mean?
yeah, it could be all those things. Like whether you, you know, talk to your family or just about everything, like express yourself, or see professional help such as a sports psychiatrist and stuff like that. Like all of that stuff can help if you're just at a point where you feel like you're close to not being able to return, to like a good mindset. The professional help can really help you get past that.
Sure.
So
And so at this point now it's looking like we're gonna play in Premier. After that loss, I was livid. Like you guys don't get to see that side of me because I tend to be pretty controlled. I'm sure like you can get a feel for my vibe at those times, but I was just super disappointed in the way the way we played bothered me more than the result. And I hate losing. I fucking hate losing. But the way that we played in the loss bothered me more. If it was like we played good CS, but they just hit their shots, okay. But it was just like I just didn't feel like we played good Counter Strike. Like watching it from the outside, it just didn't seem like good CS. Then I go to the major. At that point my CS:GO juices are flowing again because I had started to play Overwatch. I was a legend, by the way. Hanzo main, love it. And WSG kind of got me back playing a little bit of CS:GO, having a good time with that, and go to the major. Which I think if you're a young player watching right now and you need something to get you out of that funk, go watch an event like that. Get to a LAN event, watch the best teams in the world compete. It's super energizing, motivating, inspiring. It's awesome. Like especially, I think the way E League did it was really good. Smaller venue that was full. Crowd was super intense. It was awesome. Had a great time, and met some pretty awesome people. I think that's a really good experience and a good way to kind of get out of that. Anyway, after that, I mentioned that because at that event, somebody reminded me that Echo Fox hadn't made a move on their roster spot. And so I followed back up to my original email to ESL and just basically said, what the fuck? Sure enough,
yeah.
start scheduling our premier matches, kind of bummed about it. Really don't know what's going to happen with the team. I probably had plan B, C, D, and E lined up, assuming we were going to be in premier. And eventually get told like, well, your match is tonight, just wait though, we're gonna probably reschedule it. And I'm like, okay, well, that's kind of weird. Then I heard through the grapevine, yeah, Echo Fox lost their spot. I didn't hear from ESL, by the way. Like I heard it from somebody else first, and reached back out again to ESL and just said like, hey, I'm hearing their spot's gone. We were the highest ranked team from last season that got relegated. Do we get that spot? Then we found out we were playing Splice. That's your boy Drone, boy Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
What was that like? Because that was the shot at redemption, right?
Right. Yeah. First thought, okay, can't blow it. Second chance, can't blow it. That was just the immediate thought right there. It was probably one of the things that helped me pull myself back into like the better mental state. I mean, like at that point it had been like 2 weeks, so like we were preparing to play in Premiere. You know what I mean? So like things have settled down. Like people have kind of accepted the fact that we're in Premiere. So it was definitely like revitalizing for sure, and I was hyped.
So we get into that. It's a
just
best
thinking,
of three.
not blowing it.
The best of three. We win one, they win one, right? And we knew where drone played on every map, so we knew we were going right at them because that's the easiest frags that we'll ever get. Figure out where drone plays, just run directly at drone, taser out, you know. But we didn't even talk. Somebody brought that up earlier. Our 5 taser strat on Inferno against booty clappers. You remember that? The 5Z strat. Shit was awesome.
Yeah. Something that's remarkable about that video, it got
100K views.
125,000 views on a YouTube video.
Easy.
Bro.
So
What?
we play Splice, best of 3. Some of the guys on Splice, there was a chance they were going to be your teammates. I think Drone was one. I don't know if I ever got around to talking to him about that, but there was somebody else on that team. Chance that they were going to be a teammate of yours. And play best of 3. Drone has an opportunity to be pro league player, and you just hit him. You cucked him right in the dad hair, K Kona style.
Yep.
What
Now
was
we can
it?
use that
But,
for the
and I will
stream.
say this, it was an ugly match. Like, it was an ugly BO3. Because I remember people
was.
posting about that, like, oh my god, like, do these teams deserve pro league? Because it was kind of gross, man. And I remember, you know what? I could probably find it. Stupid April Fools on the CS:GO subreddit. Let's see, Ryu. Why did it instantly search? What the cuck? I'm not gonna be able to find it. But basically, I somebody commented on it being kind of a sloppy game, and I'm like, I don't know what you were talking about. I felt like I was watching VP and Astralis again. I'm fucking kidding. It's like, but I'll take the win. So we get back into Pro League, and early on we go 1-1 with CLG. It's looking like it might be another kind of like meh season, which obviously since that time has kind of trended pretty quickly downward.
Yeah.
You decided, this is something I get asked a lot, and I have my answer to it, but I think people would love to hear your answer to it. Why did you not up as the primary op anymore?
You cut out for like a second.
What?
Why did I? What?
Why did you hang up the big green and switch back to rifling?
So yeah, just for anyone who is curious about that, like I never like wanted to put down the op. Like as far as I know, man, like I really do like enjoy opping, but like it's kind of like if the circumstances apply, you know, to like my style of opping. And it's like the way we were playing as a team, it was more so like T side, like if I wasn't just like holding an area, just posted up on an area of the map for, you know, 50 seconds, you know, and then we went and did something. If they didn't push into me, right, like I didn't have a chance to get a kill, we would go and we would execute on a site with something close to 3, 4, 5 smokes, and my entry fraggers are going out and they're killing like the guys close to me that I would even have a chance at killing and being effective with my op, but that's not really where the op comes in to be most effective. So after the smokes have gotten down, you know, like there's nothing I can really do. And then there were other times where we did that and then everyone died. You know, and like our execute failed miserably, and then I'm just like last alive, or maybe last alive with like one other guy, but there's like 5 people alive on the other team, so there was just never really a time for me to be ultimately effective with that. And CT sides, I don't even know how to describe how we played our CT sides. I don't think we had a certain way for playing our CT sides. You know, like we didn't really have that many clear cut like setups that we had gone over. You know, we were not coordinated in the sense of like flashing for each other at the right times. We didn't really have any retake strats. Rotates were god awful. It's just it was all around stressful for me playing the op role. My really only chance of getting kills was just pushing somewhere, you know, and like you can't just keep pushing round after round after round with the op, you know what I mean? Like you're gonna get shut down, they're gonna be holding for you. It can actually be really easy to just avoid you, even if you're going somewhere different. So I was like, you know what? I can't do this. You know, I mean, like Terry, which is DSR. You can opt if you want, but I'm just gonna start rifling, man, because not only will this help me, become more confident with my rifle, and that I want to work on it in like a match setting, because in all matches prior to this point, I had used an op almost every round I could get one. So maybe learn some things with the rifle. It could help. Um, so that's really why I put it down. I didn't feel like I could be effective with it in the system that we had going on in our team. So
Okay. Now we're mostly caught up. Like we're pretty close to today. Teams really starting to struggle. We get to a point where it's like, all right, we need a shock to the system. I think is how I described it. And we start looking, play with a couple different people. We bring in ZQK, who I think you proposed to because you love this dude. Talk to me about ZQK. Give ZQK a little bit of love because I know you're a big fan. You like
of
his
course,
attitude, the
yeah,
way he
yeah,
calls and all that stuff. Throw them
yeah.
some
And I've
love.
only played with him for a couple weeks, a few weeks. That's it. And I actually learned a lot from him than I actually thought I would. Like I'd be like, yeah, maybe I could pick up a few things. Especially just being a few weeks in, right? I was planning to go even longer, right? But I picked up an extraordinary amount of things from him that I did not expect, and he is such a calm, like every match, every scrim he played 180 ping, never raged once. Okay, that alone is remarkable. Okay,
Versus
remarkable.
pugging with me,
Okay.
where I'm like, hang on, I lagged out. Hang on one second, I lagged out.
It's not. Yeah, it's not even a rage by you either, though. It's just like, yep, lagged out.
Yeah.
Okay,
Now I'm
all
sitting
right,
here,
bye.
dude. I'll say this, right? So I don't want to jinx it. I'm sitting here at 6K bitrate, zero drop frames, flawless.
Yeah.
Thank you, AT&T Fiber.
Yep. So, um,
Yeah, that's right,
yeah,
Max.
that alone just remarkable by him. Just super calm dude. He's I mean, I really don't know if this is how like most other Brazilians are, you know what I mean? Like I would like to think so. Even if it's just a fucking fantasy world, okay? But just really good mindset for improving. And like talking about the game, theory crafting, anything like that. You know what I mean? Like we kicked that off right away, dude. You know what I mean? Like I've been killing to have someone like this on my team that I could just talk about CS with for however long. You know what I mean? Like that is fun to me. Like I like doing that. And I learn from it, right? And I get ideas from it, obviously. Um, and I can give him definite props for even doing really really well, like in the matches that we played, playing on 180 ping. It kind of makes me wonder, like, I haven't seen this guy play on LAN or anything like that since he was back in Kaboom. Playing with like Fallen and those guys way back when. Um, like how good he could be on like land ping. You know what I mean? Because individually he looks really really skilled, and at the same time he has a really good mind for the game and a really different style and different approach to the calling game, that I haven't been exposed to, playing with only North Americans. You know what I mean? So
Can you
uh,
compare him the way he calls versus the way Slimmy calls?
yeah, so he plays more of like a pick, like it's almost like a stick and move type of style of T sides. You know what I mean? It's like he really likes to utilize his opera, which I was like, oh fuck yeah, dude! Like let's go. You know what I mean? Like, so T sides, I was like, he'd just be like, yeah, just go wherever you want, or just say if you want to make a play, or like I'm not gonna I'm not gonna like shut you down or anything like that, or make you feel bad like if you fucked up the play or whatever. Um, Free to do whatever I want. But he also gave me ideas in practice. He came up with plenty of different like plays just for like an opera to get a pick, which I thought were really really cool, really innovative. Um, but going back to like comparing the styles, Slemmy is more of like a slow paced, like super, trying to like work throughout the map and like just execute based Counter Strike. You know what I mean? Like execute, execute, execute. He something that ZQK likes to do is not only just play this like stick and move game where it's like get first pick, wait, see if they make another mistake by sending like one or two more guys pushing into an area, and we're set up holding for it already to stop that, and then even having a bigger man advantage, and then just easily taking the site. But he likes to grab map control, leave a guy there. Let's go back to this area. Let that guy lurk, and then we can run back to him, or just hit him with a big flank. So it's more of like a basic style of Counter Strike compared to Slemmy. Slemmy's more like tight and tactical, like really, really tactical. So I felt that fit the way everyone on the team that we had there. It kind of fit like our play style better, and my play style as an opper. So
yeah, in the last couple of weeks, especially I guess the Cobble match, CT side, it felt like we almost always had a 5v4 to start the rounds. It seemed like you were starting to get that groove back a little bit with the ops specifically.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we get to this time where you're frustrated because we're losing. We've got new guy coming in, right? We started to play a little bit with Dizzy. Seems like he's another high potential type of player. We do okay, and we're like, hey guys, listen, I don't know what the deal is, but we really need to bring in the firepower. And then I get this message on Steam like, hey, we need you ZQK's internet out. And I'm like, all right, I'm fucking in. Let's do this. Right now, I'm like, I tweeted like, I'm trying to handle the biz right now. It's time to suit up. I come in there, and we freaking run it all the way back, 14-14.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, is it just that easy for me? I'm not sure.
Nah, dude, you're a fucking legend, bro. Listen, if there's one thing you're good for, man, and it's not just one thing, you're good for many of things, but you can come in clutch, dude. You can come in fucking clutch. And throughout that final map, like as soon as he lagged out, I was kind of just like, okay, I mean, this sucks, right? But then, like, I got hyped, right? Because then you were gonna come in, and I knew how we were about to play the fucking game. Like, I knew what was coming, dude. I knew what I was getting. Okay. So I just enjoyed that shit, man. I enjoyed the fact that you were coming in and cucking all over complexity, dude.
So we had one round where the call was like, let's just push mid. And I'm like, all right, let's boost over red. And me, you, and Dizzy all run into each other, and all three of us jump.
Dude,
and we just lost it.
Bro, I was legit saying, I hope the stream saw that, bro. Because if I was watching, I'd be laughing my ass off.
And that was one, and I mentioned this a while ago. We've been talking for about 90 minutes or so. We talked about how I always felt like our team had more fun than most of the other teams. And I think some of the other teams, I would say probably like SK and Immortals, they look more like family in a tight-knit, serious kind of way.
Yeah, like they can suit up when they need to, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, but I'm talking about like the personalities, right? Like they're like family in a serious way, where I felt like we were always like like Mitch, how much more ice cream are you gonna eat, homie? Caboose, what did you just get delivered to the house? You just ate breakfast and it's already noon. And you just ordered lunch, and then dinner's coming in 30 minutes.
You order an 18
like
more breadsticks from Olive Garden.
With his Rubik's Cube and his friggin' like 48-pound bag of Smarties. Like, we were always like very fun. And then even in that match, that brief period of time, and even Dizzy said it afterwards, like that shit was fun. And again, people don't realize, like, grinding and getting into matches and practicing, and like if you actually work hard, right? And I know a lot of NA teams don't, but if you actually work hard, it becomes challenging, and you need that kind of decompression. And I think
you do for sure.
I think the fact that we were laughing while I was dropping, 0.9 FPR against complexity, and sitting at the top of the Selfless stat sheet right now for the season.
We made him tack though.
It just we made them tack, dude. How much shit did I talk in MM1 that game, dude? That's more shit than I think I've talked in my career.
Sorry for the MM1.
The first thing I said, I joined. I'm like, you guys are about to get fucking managed, all caps.
Yeah, no, that shit was hilarious. Dude.
So,
What the?
so that brings us right up till now. So now you're looking at a new opportunity to play with guys like JKS, AZR, Ustilo. JKS, AZR specifically have been to a major before. I think Cologne in 2015, I guess.
Yeah, back in 2015,
Yeah.
I think.
The Renegades organization is in Detroit, but the players are from Australia, so they play in the Asian minor, which makes the path to a major substantially easier. You've got some strong rifling ability there. You will be the primary op for that team, correct?
Yep.
Who's going to be the IGL? Because there's a lot of questions about that on the Reddit thread.
Your boy Nexa
Okay.
coming in. Now here's what I asked him, right? I asked his team, I was like, so what's the IGL situation looking like? Because, obviously, like, Kassad is the coach. And I'm not sure, how they work as a team yet. But, man, I can't wait to find out. But apparently this Nexa kid, like, he's my age. Like, he's 19. And not only is he, like, extremely talented individually, but apparently he wants to IGL. Like, he wants to do it. So that alone is, like, a good sign. So, I'm hyped for that.
Okay. And so you guys are going to boot camp in Serbia soon.
That's right.
Tomorrow.
Yeah,
Sunday,
he's Serbian, so I guess it's set up in a way so that Kassad was the guy who kind of organized all of it. So we're going to Serbia to boot camp for I think it's like 8 days or something, and we're leaving to do that on Saturday, or not Saturday but Sunday. So we're gonna meet up with them there, and kind of just boot camp, scrim against some of the EU teams. So that'd be dope. And kind of see how some things go.
Cool. Let's see, what else can we cover here? Do that real quick.
I hear a phone.
I guess what we could do now, I definitely want to get, because it's been an interesting journey for you. Specifically you, because you came from a different game that you were starting to really, distance yourself from the competition in. Came to this game. I think I even mentioned in the announcement that you've been a really good example of the things that I look for in terms of you're level-headed, you work really hard, you're willing to put in the grind, always trying to improve, you're a good teammate, those kinds of things. I think you're a really good example of those things. So I definitely want to get some of your advice, some of it more high level, some of it very practical, down to earth kind of stuff. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else about the Renegades team. I mean, they've put together a bunch of wins in Pro League, so there's a chance that they're going to make it. That I guess you guys are going to make it to the offline ESL event in Dallas.
Except we won't be able to attend it even if we did.
Is that at the same time as the minor?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
So
you got cucked right in the dead hair. Okay, Conan.
Cucked right in the dad hair.
Okay. Yeah, that sucks. You guys are invited to IEM Sydney, so you'll be guaranteed hanging out in Australia, chasing kangaroos and trying not to get bit by rattlesnakes and stuff.
Bro, while we're there, man, I gotta see some kangaroos, some Australian kangaroos. Bro, I want to see a koala bear too. Okay.
Like in the wild, or you talking
I understand you can go to a zoo, okay? But this is real shit. This is Australia. This is koala bears and kangaroos, okay? So,
cool.
Yeah, you'll be finding me
just
anywhere near
climbing
those.
trees, chasing kangaroos. We've got a special guest. You can't see him right now, Noah, but we've got a special guest that just awoke from some slumber. Wants to get up on the stream real quick. Here he is. It's the stream doge. Hey, buddy. Good to see you.
I can see him. Don't you worry.
Yeah, it's good.
You know how it
is. He usually hits me with the yawn when he jumps up on the chair, so I'm waiting for it. Once he yawns, then he'll down. Buddy. All right, so let's. How about this? Can we? Oh, now he's being adorable. He's stealing the show here.
Watch out for drop bears and snakes. All right.
Drop bears? I don't know what that is, but it sounds... I just say, like, if I'm walking and a bear drops, I'm fucking done, dude. I'm out.
Bro, you'll never see me back in Australia, alright? If a bear just drops on me, dude.
All right, so let's do this. Let's do some questions from chat. If you're cool with that, I'll read. I'll pick the questions and read them, and then you can answer them in voice. All right, you like do me a favor, buddy? Can you go right now?
Yeah, hit us with the AMA.
Yeah, so let's do. Okay, I saw this question on the subreddit. Are you guys gonna communicate in English or Australian? And the way that gets judged is the amount of C-bombs that you drop per hour.
I don't know, man. There might be some C-bombs, but obviously English.
Okay. I'm gonna hit you with some rapid fire too, because some of these questions I kind of want to know. Who was your favorite teammate player on our in all the variations of Selfless? Well, who was the person that you enjoyed playing with the most?
Breeze.
Interesting. I thought you were gonna go mainline just because he says things like, "Yo,
he's the runner-up. He's the runner-up, bro. They're close, man. More so, like, the difference with it is like Breeze, like in game, like we worked well together, really good, and then out of game, like we're interested in like kind of the same shit, you know what I mean? But we have different opinions on things, so like we can agree and we can disagree on things, and we can have like a good conversation and shit. Bro, legit, I've never met someone who has the same recommended YouTube video list that I do. I will watch a YouTube video. Yeah, I will watch a YouTube video, and then like either the next day, it could be like a couple hours, maybe 30 minutes from now, right? He'll be watching that same video. I'm like, wait, what? And it's not something that you just like type in, like, I mean, like, it's like
very specific video. You wouldn't have found
very specific video, okay. Right? And it would happen like vice versa. Like he would watch a video, and then I would end up watching it. Be like, hey, did you see this? I was like, oh shit, yeah, I was just watching that earlier. It's like, yeah. So I mean, it's got to be Breeze, dude.
Okay, interesting. I didn't think you were gonna go there. Who was the You could throw shade at someone, right? If I ask you, like, who is your least favorite person? Least favorite teammate?
I don't know. Nah.
I could throw any shade?
Nah.
Damn. I'm pretty sure I know exactly who you're aiming that at.
Nah.
All right, let's see.
Nah.
Out of all your teammates, was Mainline the one that made you laugh the most? Or was it like Uber in like an accidental way?
100% Uber.
100% Uber?
100%.
All right, let's go here. I'm trying to think of some other questions that I want to ask. But in the meantime,
I see like mad questions in the chat.
Yeah, let's find a couple good ones. You're not gonna find a koala.
It's really hard. Hard for me to answer a question like, who are you most looking forward to play with in Renegades? It's like I'm looking forward to playing with all of them, dude. Yeah, I mean, like, there's no like one player like, dude.
You think you're gonna start saying mate?
I mean,
do you think that's gonna catch on?
I don't know. Well, I guess we'll see, dude. I don't know.
Who was the best IGL that you have ever played with?
Ryu.
That's a good. I didn't even fucking pay for that answer. That's a good fucking answer. Who will you miss the most from Selfless, and why is it Sky?
Ryu.
Damn, Calvin, you just got wrecked. Someone said you look like John Travolta.
I love how you just throw that one in there randomly.
Yeah, it's one of my subs, and he's been asking. He tweeted it and everything, so I know he wanted to get that out there.
John Travolta, hey, bro. If it was when he, I mean, I actually don't know what he looks like now, but when he was doing movies,
ratchety.
He's look good.
What do you think of Dizzy? You guys play a couple matches with him?
I think Dizzy has a lot. I mean, he's only what, 15? I think.
16.
Or is he? Okay, 16. Yeah, I mean, dude, he is super talented. Like individually, like just aiming and just like he's got it. He's got it there, right? So I mean, if he just tries and gains some more experience and like develops a play style that he wants to commit to and a role that he wants to commit to, it'll kind of help define himself within the game, which could mean landing when he does land a pro team. Because I got no doubt, like if he's gonna grind, he'll land a pro team, and if he commits to a role, he'll take that role and he'll own it. Especially if it's something like entry fragger, bro. Oh my god, it'd be sick. But yeah, I think he's got a bright future.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Who would you have on your dream team if you included yourself on it? Like, who would you want? What players would you want around you? And obviously, eliminate your current team just so that there's no awkwardness there. And you haven't really played with those guys to a level to feel like they would be. But eliminate Renegades players. Who would you put on your NA dream team?
Only NA players.
Yeah, only in this region.
Okay. Yikes. Oh, dude, I don't know, man. The thing is, like, for that, like, I can just point out and be like, skill. Like, this is how, like, most people would answer that question. It's like, okay, Stewie, like, he's a god. Stewie, one of them, for sure. You know what I mean? But it's like, it's more than that. You know what I mean? Like, in order to know what the dream team would be, like, I would have to know, like, how the players mesh together, right? And, like, how they are as, like, people and as players, like, the way they think, like, how motivated they are, right? Like, I'm not aware of these things, you know what I mean? So it's like, I could just, like, spit some names of some top NA players, but, it wouldn't be any good. It'd be unoriginal.
Do you have anyone that you're, like, 100% that guy would be on the team?
Yeah, I'd say Elige.
Okay. That's it? I was waiting for another certain Brezzy.
You said a guy. So.
I was so shocked you didn't go right for the Brezzy, but that's cool. Out of everybody you've played with on our team, I would say in general, but of all the people you've had on your teams from your upcoming through Premier through to us, who's had the best aim, raw aim?
Breeze.
Second?
Second, I mean, dude, Caboose has like godlike initial aim, like those first like few bullets. You know what I mean? Like
that's what I thought you were gonna say. But Breeze
dude,
is a good answer.
Wreck. Yeah. Nah, I definitely have to go with Breeze, man.
Questions we got here. Can you hold your beer? He can hold beer in his hands. He's not allowed to drink it though. Super energetic. He drinks a lot of chocolate milk. What's your favorite flavor of hot dog?
Mainline.
I wasn't even thinking that, but that's such a good answer. That's good. I'm impressed. Let's see. Are you going to be moving to the team house?
Yes. Instantly. Like tomorrow.
All right, so let's. You guys can keep. If you guys have any more questions, keep sending them. No, Eli, down. I'm sorry, buddy. I didn't mean to. I think I was getting up. All right, so I'm gonna hit you with some like rapid fire advice giving questions to the young players that are watching this that want to be the next Nifty, that want to come up, get better, go through the I know most of them don't want to go through the process, right? They don't want to go to Premier and play. They want to just become a pro tomorrow because I saw them in a death match once. That's kind of the dream. Super unrealistic, but keeping things realistic. What is the advice that you would give to the player who's in maybe like third season of competitive play to be able to elevate themselves to the level that maybe they get recognized and have that chance? So not their first season where they're like super green, but not like their 18th season where they're still in Premier after 10 seasons. They're probably not going to take it.
You're talking specifically Premier, not like main. And
not no. I'm saying just somebody that's in their third season of competition, right? And assuming that they feel confident that they can get to that level. That's why I said third season, because sometimes when you play one season, you're nuts, and you play open, you shit on a bunch of bad teams, and you think you're a pro player. Sometimes you're in your 18th season of Premier, like a lot of people in Premier that are never getting out of it, and you kind of know things are over. So if you're kind of on the early side, but a couple seasons in, 3 or 4 seasons in, what's the advice that you would give to a player like that?
um, you if you're that guy, you need to I I wouldn't want you to think that like like time's running up. Um, but I mean, you're somewhere in the middle, right? Like you're not. It's not too late, and it's not too early. Like you could be making this happen like next fucking season. You know what I mean? So like that's how you want to think of it. Like I could land a pro team next season, or I could land a premier team, who's gonna win premier next season, or maybe if just let's just leave it at that. But um, you need to just keep on nose to the grindstone, dude. Like you can't let up and then spend like a day thinking like, well, what if this happens? Well, what if that happens? You know what I mean? Like, nah, 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 nah. Just stay away from all that bullshit, and just keep doing your thing. And as long as you can tell and you know that you're improving, just keep doing it and it'll happen, right? Like you got to, and most importantly, keep the positive mindset and the positive vibes. Like, it's going to happen. I'm going to make this happen, like that type of thing.
What advice would you give to an opera, someone that wants the primary, since we lack those in the region right now?
Okay. You're not going to like, well, you're not gonna like because you're gonna have to if you want to become a really really talented like opper, a really really skilled opper, you obviously need to work at it like plenty of hours. Like every time if you go pug, anytime you can get an op, grab an op, go for aggressive picks. You know what I mean? Practice that shit. Uh, but something you're not gonna like if you spend a lot of time practicing the op is that you're gonna realize that you're not spending that much time practicing like rifles or pistols. So you may see yourself lacking in those areas. But when that happens, just like you need to just go back and spend extra time working on those to make sure that you can keep those at least at like a decent spot, a spot where you're happy, where you don't have to be like scream, but you want to be able to get the kills that you should get, right? If there's a guy in front of you, easy kill, maybe not even looking at you, you should be able to shut him down like instantly, that type of thing.
What about for someone that wants to IGL? Another thing that's lacking in the region.
To IGL, it can be really really difficult to practice it. Maybe in like some of the premier teams, just because every single player is difficult. And to be quite honest with you, it'd be really really hard. It's really really hard to find a team when you're in that like premier area. Where everyone's like loyal to each other and you guys are actually a team. Maybe most of these people probably have like secret desires, like just really only care about themselves in the situation and trying to land a pro team for themselves. So when you're coming up as an IGL, man, it's really really difficult. I mean, fuck's sake, dude, you'd have to do something to stand out. You probably have to be really really skilled just as an individual in your rifling. Maybe you're even opping and IGLing. Um, but it's not easy to just be like a low skilled or like an average like premier player. Even you could be like an insane IGL, but word would have to spread somehow. It's really not easy to practice. I would have to say like I don't know. It's not what I did when I was coming up, so it's really hard for me to give
Well,
advice on
I'll
it.
ask it a
But
different way. What did you find to be the most helpful thing to help you improve as an IGL once you started the call?
um, well, you definitely need to stay like level headed, like because if you're calling and you start just like getting down in the dumps, you know what I mean, and then like maybe you're calling like super like monotone or really really like just like speaking super like softly, but like you're kind of some people can kind of tell that you're like fuck this, right? Or like you're upset or you're emo or something. You need to make sure that you keep yourself in it because that's the only way you're going to keep your team in it. Um, yeah.
What did you when you were calling? What did you do? What did you read, watch, listen to, look at, practice, or
So
to go from like a new to like feeling comfortable as an IGL? Like, what was the thing that you did or didn't do to take that next step?
So, yeah, there were like a couple videos that I watched. I think there was an article or two, maybe like one of those like Dignitas articles, where like MSL said something. Um, I can't remember the article, but I know that there was a Steel video that I watched where he talked about how like when you're in IGL, like the best way to utilize your teammates. You know what I mean? And like to their strengths, type of thing. So I mean, definitely like watching videos and reading up on some stuff because I mean now you've got like a few years, of stuff that's out there. So I mean, you can really read up on it and learn a lot without even doing it first. So, yeah, definitely doing some homework on that would be something that you would want to do because that's basically what I did, and then I gave it my best shot, just kind of like how I naturally think that I would do it. So I kind of like gave it a little bit of a mix.
Okay. Interesting. I thought you were gonna go to like a Fallen video or something when you went to MSL articles. It's interesting.
Yeah.
I guess because he was on the team that cucked you
He.
in London, right?
I
Is that
mean,
why you just gave a little extra
no.
respect?
Nah, it's yeah, but when I say like videos, like I can, nothing came to like the top of my head. Is like
Right.
the thing that did was the Steel video. I mean, because I mean, Fallen did have like, and I think he's still even making similar videos, or he maybe hasn't for a while. I haven't really checked it out, but he did streams where he talked about how to play T-side Inferno, or how to like call T-side Inferno for like an hour or two. He did streams and then he translated to his YouTube channel and then like did like English subtitles, or he tried to do the stream in English, one of those two. But yeah, he definitely has some really helpful shit.
Okay. Yeah, I know. There's some good content from. I feel like right now there's so much good content, and the people that put in, and something I talked about on my stream earlier today, people that put in like meh kind of effort, like that they get to like that 40 or 50% where they're half-assing it. They're not going to go to bed and watch that. They're going to go to bed and watch the next episode of Iron Fist, or Homeland or Walking Dead, but they're not going to spend an hour trying to get better at the thing that's they're hoping can become their dream job. It's crazy to me. Um, what's something that you would do differently, or something that you would add or remove or change as you've kind of come through this process?
Whew, uh, maybe. Hmm. I mean, something I would like to change, like how a lot of players are like brought up just like naturally to think about like the game or dealing with each other, or how they work with themselves to improve. Um, I would love to come across like more players, especially at, like my time at Selfless, to have come across more players like that they were way more open and receptive to like criticism and like feedback, and not just to receive it from their teammates, but like more importantly like ask themselves questions. You know what I mean? Because
But
it's like,
that's more about like external. I'm asking about you, specific to
okay,
you.
you're at, oh,
Something that
okay, like
you would have done differently, or that you wouldn't have done, or that you
I thought you
would
were
have
talking
done.
about like like in general.
No, specific to
uh
you. What
okay.
what is something when you sit here now and look back at it and say, a year ago I became a professional CS:GO player and I was starting to make money, doing this, and that was
Yeah.
my living. And now I have the opportunity to take a step up to, a higher tier team and make the run towards my eventual goal of winning a championship. What is something along that process that you would have changed or removed or added or done differently?
Started watching demos earlier.
Interesting.
And yeah, and the reason why I say that is because I think it would have benefited me more and much faster. But it's like when you watch demos, like you don't just fucking, like, all right, I'm gonna grab like giant bowl of spaghetti. You're gonna grab yourself some dinner and then like put on fucking a TV.
Why did you go? Why did you go
a
giant?
TV,
Why did you go giant
a
spaghetti? Is it
TV
'cause I'm
show on
Italian?
the
Is that
second
some
monitor.
racism thing
No,
going on
no,
here?
no. Hang on, just wait. Put on a TV show on the second monitor or something, or maybe a stream, anything. These are distractions. Like you can't think of, like when you're watching demos, bro. You might as well be playing the game. Like have a fucking pen and notebook, like ready to go. Like you're ready to write some shit, or like a notepad or something open on your computer where you can like basically record things. Because I've talked to a decent amount of people, man, where they've watched, they say that they've watched a lot of demos, but you don't see it reflect in their gameplay or their decision making or anything like that. And it's confusing me. It's like, man, well, if they're doing this and they say they actually are, like, they're probably just not doing it right, or they're giving it that meh effort, you know what I mean? Which means they could have distractions going on at the same time, or they're simply just not going about it the right way. Like they're trying to pay attention to all the wrong things in demos, So that's definitely something that I would have changed and started doing way sooner.
It's interesting. I think if you go back to when iBuyPower was still playing, there was an event where they did really, really well at, and they asked Daze like, what changed, and he was like, yeah, we started to like watch the demos of who we were playing, and it was just like, God damn it, North America, why haven't you been doing this? All right, that's a good one. One of the questions was like, how did you transition from controller to mouse and keyboard?
Well, it took me some time. I probably played matchmaking for like something like 6 to 8 months before I even started ESCA. Like I have like 1,500 matchmaking games or something. Throughout that time, like I basically started KZing and surfing like ASAP, because a few of like my fellow friends that started playing Counter-Strike with me that were from the COD community kind of like found this out and were like, like, hey, this is fun. So originally I started doing it because it was fun. Because at that point I was just playing the game kind of for fun. But then I realized like it started helping me with the transition from just moving joysticks, to actually like being able to use all my fingers faster on the keyboard and mouse. So, yeah, putting a lot of time into KZ and surf, it helped. And then just playing a lot of the game in general.
How long does it take you to do your hair?
Fucking 26 seconds, buddy.
And I remember at one point, I think it was at Northern Arena when we had Calvin with us. Guy was with us doing the video. One of the questions was like, "What hair care product do you use?" And you were like, "I don't know. Someone recommend me one." Which product or products have you settled on?
I use American Crew.
American Crew. You heard it here, guys. Let's see what other questions we got in chat. Thoughts on Floppy the player? I don't know if that's directed to you or me, but I'll ask you.
I don't know much about him.
All right. Will you stream more now that you're on Renegades?
Man, I would love to have an answer for that, but I actually don't know what it's going to be like yet with the team and being in the team house and being in that environment and being on this practice schedule that they have set up, which, by the way, I am hyped for, because I want to. That's the whole reason we're there. The whole reason we're in this team house, nose to the grindstone type thing. You know what I mean? Like, I'm ready. Like, let's go. Let's fucking practice. Let's do this shit.
One of the questions is, how should you watch a demo? You said that's one thing you would have done differently.
Yeah. Yeah.
How should you watch a demo?
So there's a couple different ways you're gonna watch a demo. I'd say you'd only want to start doing this once you really know how to do each way, like, effectively, and you've done it for a while. But like, you can watch a demo to learn things about other teams and how they, and basically like copycat some strats, figure out how they work, how they execute the strats, each player's roles within the strats. Do you understand why or when they're calling this, or what information they have used to play off of this. And then there's demos you can watch where maybe you're watching players that play your spots that you like to play on the maps, and try to learn how they like to play those spots. You know, again, kind of like a copycat. I would say if you're doing this stuff, you want to start with the copycat and then kind of like try to build it into your own style of playing that spot. Or, you know, if you're
So
the IGL.
I know there's going to be a question that comes up, so I'll ask it. When someone's looking for whose demo to watch, should they pick someone with the same style as them, or that they think is the same style as them?
I mean, I would say yes, because if you have this style, if you have fallen style of opping, why would you want to watch like Skadoodle style of opping? You know what I mean? Like he is Skadoodle's aggressive, but at the same time he's really passive, and he doesn't like to take as many risks as I think he could.
Okay.
So
Um,
Fallen is like the type of operator, you know, fucking bounce it around the fucking map, just fucking one dead. You know what I mean? Like, all right, you're dead. Like, I'm fucking rotating over here now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's how Fallen ops. That's what he likes to do. So, definitely, if you want to watch what your style is, I think.
do you think the current CLG roster can be a top NA team?
A top NA team, I don't know. Maybe if they made like a roster move, they could be, but I wouldn't say like with this roster. But who knows? Like, I mean, they're pretty good already. Like, I recognize just from the way that they practice, it's very structured and effective, and they apply it to their matches really well. So, who knows?
Have you spoken to Gomez?
Of course I have. I love Gomez already.
Why?
He's just a super likable guy, dude. I could tell as soon as I entered the conversation with this guy, man. Like he's what's the word I'm looking for? He's like he's very energetic in like the way he says things, and
Enthusiastic?
yeah, yeah, kind of. Yeah. It's like somewhere in the middle, you know, between energetic and enthusiastic. Could be both. Fuck it. And he's just positive, you know, just kind of like wants all the good stuff to happen. You know what I mean? Like he wants everything to be okay. You know what I mean? And like he's willing to help you wherever you need help, right? Just seems like an all around really stand up guy. So.
Have you ever been to Australia before?
No, can't wait though.
Can you speak Australian?
Sure.
These are questions from chat. Are you still possibly going to go to Frag 11?
No.
How do you feel about your ping pong game? Apparently they play it a lot out at the house.
Fucking played it like 2 times in my life ever. So not that great if they play a lot.
Have you learned any of the Aussie call outs? Position names or anything?
No.
If you're a player in Open, should you be trying to make strats and stuff, or should you just focus on like fundamentals and basics?
Probably like 95% fundamentals and basics. You know, it'd probably be nice to have like maybe like one strat, but then again, not 1 or 2 strats, but you know, have it not be that complicated. Could be a simple fake, simple few smokes or something, but yeah, probably for the most part focus on, you know, Open for the most part is just fragging and just simple, real simple basic shit.
Probably do a couple more questions and wrap this up because we've been going for over 2 hours
Okay.
now. I know you got to get sleep because you got a flight you got to catch tomorrow.
Yeah.
Somebody asked, does posture matter? The way you sit at your chair, table, everything else. Is that something
Just
you focus on?
like to how you play, like if you play better,
No, it's just does it matter
or
when playing the way that you've kind of have all your stuff?
it could. I guess it's really like I don't know. It's how you look at it. If you've already played one way for a while, you know, just like sitting a certain way, it can be really, really difficult to change that.
Very true.
So yeah,
Yeah, and I would
and when you
recommend.
do, so it's like it's more of like a preventive thing instead of a fixed thing. You know what I mean? So when you start playing, like you want to be obviously going for the best posture possible.
Yeah, I was just gonna
But
say
like
I recommend any young player don't do the weird keyboard slant with the crazy arm angle. Don't do weird
yeah,
like sit
nothing to
correctly.
injure yourself.
Yeah, you want if you want to have a long career, it's important. It sounds super shitty, and most people are gonna be like, yeah, whatever. But it's if you're gonna avoid if you want to play this game for 5 years or any game for 5 years, you don't want to have back pain in a year and a half because you sit funny at your
Yeah.
desk, or pain in your wrist and those kinds of things.
Yeah, you're like
Um,
17 years old and like, Mom,
yeah,
you know what
I
I
need to.
mean?
Yeah, exactly. One of the questions: when did the whole transfer start? Very recent. It was a very recent talk. Do you prefer the red Doritos or the blue Doritos?
Red,
Do you stretch your hands?
aka
Do you do
nacho cheese.
any of the hand stretches like the Dr. Levi? Like this
Yeah, I
one,
do.
that
I do
one.
Dr. Levi hand stretches.
Yeah.
Yep.
How often do you do that?
Couple days a week.
Top three offers in North America, in your opinion, that are North American,
Uh,
not no Brazilians.
well, that means Mixwell's out too then. um, Kusta, Skadoodle, and myself.
Interesting answer. Threw fucking Kenneth Swen in there. Who's the best op in the world right now?
Device.
The map that we played on the other night that I came in and dropped a .9. How do you
Yeah.
pronounce it? This is apparently a test from someone from New Zealand.
Sorry, say that again. I was
The
reading something in
map,
the chat.
the map that I
Yeah.
played on the other night when I had to fill in for ZQK. What's the name of that map? It's a
This
test,
is a
apparently.
test. It's a test, huh? Yeah, cash.
Okay. Let's see. Thoughts on individual players on Renegades? Yeah, that's a tough question because he's not gonna. Even if he wanted to say like I hate them all, he's not gonna say that. And he can't say that. So, how often do you clean your mouse pad or replace it?
I usually end up replacing it like every maybe around like 3-4 months. I don't really clean it though because it doesn't really get dirty. I don't know. I don't really notice that I have problems with it.
What pad do you use?
QCK heavy.
Is Renegades? Do you have to like switch any peripherals? I don't know what.
No, so that's actually something that I loved when they told me, dude, because they were like, yeah. So when we originally made their agreement, like they don't have to use um, certain peripherals, but certain peripherals they do. Like they're with HyperX, I think so.
For the headset or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, I have the HyperX pad that they gave out for free at DreamHack Vegas. If the pad was bigger and stitched edges, I'd be using that. And when we played on Vince's mouse pad, the G640,
Yeah.
that's how smooth that one is. It's really, really good, except the edges, they like literally could cut your hand. Like they're sharp, dude. It's super weird. Let's see, what else, man? One of the questions like what motivates you to practice as hard as you do? That's a good question.
Wait. Sorry. Say that again.
What motivates you to practice, to put in the work, to work as hard as you do?
Because I want to win.
Easy enough. Cool, man. I don't think I've got any more. I mean, I'm sure I'm going to think of 500 when we end this call. Nothing else is really coming to mind right now. Anything you wanted to say to former fans, current fans, future fans, Renegade fans?
Yeah, I do notice there's a lot of Renegades fans actually. I've seen them all over Reddit. I've seen some in the chat. Hope you guys are happy to have me. I'm not gonna disappoint. Selfless fans, I know you'll probably follow me over. The fans that I seem to have are actually very loyal, so thank you guys for that. And definitely keep following me on this journey, bro, because we're gonna make it there. We're gonna win.
Cool. Well, it's been a pleasure having you. I've been trying to sell you since 2014 apparently, and it's been super fun for me to watch you grow as a person and as a player. I think this is a really good opportunity for you, and I know I'm confident you're not gonna let me down or let yourself down. So get out there, frag out, man, and fly safe tomorrow. And let me know when you land. And good luck out there, dude.
For sure, man.
Cool. Thanks, guys, very much for hanging out, for watching the stream. I recorded, I think, almost all of this, and I have a gigabit upload now, so I'll probably upload this to YouTube so it's a little easier, better quality, easier to navigate as you guys kind of go through and watch that later. And see you guys on the next stream. Don't know when that'll be. Nifty will be on his way to Serbia in the very near future, so I don't think he'll be streaming too much, but you guys could always catch us on social media. And thanks again for watching. See you guys.
See you.